There, ref. Actually got the ball. Good morning, Tottenham fans all across the world, and welcome back to the Irish Hotspur for Match Day Live as Tottenham make the trip up north to Newcastle to St. James's Park. Can we break the curse up there? A big, massive game today, of course, kicking off Super Sunday. Really annoyed that we had to move our game forward a half an hour to suit Liverpool and Man United. It's an absolute joke. That's 2 years on the trot that has happened. Big club biased, as they say. Apologies about being late. It's not that your boy got up late. Your boy was actually up at 8 a.m. this morning. Yeah, just something came up there last minute that I just had to deal with quickly. But we've got plenty to talk about today, which we are going to get into. You know, we'll have maybe a quick recap of the boys' thoughts here on the transfer window, and then we'll move into a lot of match day stuff. How we feeling ahead of the Newcastle game? Can we break the curse? Who comes in and plays number 8, etc., etc. So a lot to talk about today. Anyone that, if you can see the pinned comment in the chat, this is brought to you by NordVPN today. Those of you who do know what it is, get on the link, get over and get your deal. If not, wait a little while and I'll explain to you exactly what it's all about and how I'm going to help you guys save money to watch football. So it's going to be absolutely brilliant. But Dermo, how are you keeping this morning, sir?
I am keeping all right. Looking forward to the game. Of course, we're gonna break the curse today because we're Tottenham Hotspur, and of course, we are gonna win. But no, I'm grand. Thanks for having me on as always, Dave. Enjoy these match day pom pops. Gets me going. Gets me buzzing. And yeah, come on, you Spurs.
No, it's good to have you around, Dermo. Big game today, and I can't wait to see what you have to say. Soren, how are you, my man?
Game day, baby. Look, good to be back. Another game day. Let's just get on with it.
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Huge game today. I know there's a lot of trepidation and nervousness in the air. However, these are the games we live for. These are the games we get out of bed for. These big games where Tottenham aren't expected to pull off a result and we go up there and pull off a shock result. Let's hope that happens today. Let's welcome some people into the comments and then we will crack on. Hotspur Hippie will be joining us at some point. He's just a bit late. He's out having dinner and he will be getting back here. Do not worry about that. We've got We Are Spurs TV. Let's go, Tottenham. Big yourself up. Marky Cook. Big up, lads. Hope you're well, fellas. We've also got Joseph. Transfer window over. It's time for football. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, everyone. Dave, Jack, and the panel. Of course, no Jack today, guys. It's like 3 a.m. where he is. So I told him to stay in bed until the watch along. Edward says, seen a few things about Van de Ven being injured. Anyone know if it's true? Look, as far as we're aware, you're shaking your head now? Sorry, are you aware it's true?
Oh, no, I'm just saying, yeah, that's the rumours. He was shown to be training, so...
Let's wait and see. Look, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. I think he will be back today, Edward. Hopefully we have nothing to fear. If he's not, we're in big trouble. Shem Tam, good morning, Dave and Jack. Hope you're both well today. Good to see you, my man. Shawnee Johnston, massive game today. I feel like winning up there would be a huge statement. I think we can do it for sure. DJ AK says, big up, lads. I can see us dominating a win today. We owe them. And I'm going 4-1. Come on, you Spurs. Delusional optimist. Nothing wrong with that, my man. Got 0-27. Good to see you in the house. Black Wolf as well says, morning, Dave and Jack. How many goals will our inverted centre-backs make today? Look, you know, they scored one and assisted one there last week. Yeah, you never know. Might get the same today. That would be nice. Big yourself up. We also have Rimsey in the house. Hopefully you're keeping well. He says, I think we can do this. Come on, you Spurs. Good to see you, my man. Over there, S. Fasir says, come on, you Spurs. Great to see you. Along with Paddy Higgins, can we not just all agree that having Haaland in your fantasy football team is basically cheating? No, because he's in my team and he's picked me up a lot of points over the last 2 weekends. So, no. But in fact, Paddy Higgins, I think you're one that don't want to put words in your mouth. Do you have any London players that aren't Tottenham based in your squad? Please do let me know. Paddy, no, you can't make that rule if you've got Arsenal and Chelsea and West Ham players in your team, lad. We've got this from Dark Sun G. As always, good to see you, Dark Sun G, and good morning to you, sir. Says, come on, you Spurs. Let's win today for revenge and beat Gooners 2 weeks later. Also, Brighton helped us twice with red cards. Young for Everton and Rice for Gooners. Absolutely spot on there. You know, of course, Ashley Young got two yellows for everything getting sent off, and then we were the beneficiaries of that, and also Declan Rice getting sent off. I know there's a lot of uproar about the sending off. It was never a second yellow card. At the end of the day, he kicked the ball away, stopping them from taking a quick free kick. By the letter of the law, it's a yellow card, and he deserves to be suspended for the North London Derby. So we're absolutely buzzing. No Declan Rice. I mean, I might have to go egg fried rice, pilau rice with my Indian later on that night with no Declan available.
Traitor.
Huh?
He's a traitor. He deserves everything he gets. He's a traitor.
He is, yeah. He wore the Republic of Ireland jersey and then switched it for the England jersey. We do not like that whatsoever. But Dark Sun G, big North London Derby coming ahead. No Declan Rice is absolutely huge for Tottenham Hotspur. And let's hopefully we can take advantage of it. We are at home this time around. So hopefully, you know, we won't suffer what we did last year where I think we were, 3-0 down inside 38 minutes. I was ready to walk out, to be brutally honest. I was stuck in beside the Arsenal fans. I got pelters all game, and it was absolutely horrible. It's unbearable when you're losing, to be honest with you, Dark Sun G. But good to see you in the house, my man. Let's welcome in Hotspur Hippie Paul. How are you, sir?
I'm all right, man. Sorry I'm late, man. I am.
No, you're all good.
You know, when you sent me that text with the link in it, I thought, bloody hell, man, what's happened with Harris? Like these early morning kickoffs, he's usually late out of bed. It's all a last minute flurry. He's getting professional here. And
I'm a changed man, Paul.
I just thought I'd go to the shops, and I was walking on the way to the shops. I thought, hang on a minute, Harris ain't smartening up. It's me that's the fool. He did do it at the last minute, and I'm late, so I'm sorry, man.
Well, it wasn't set the last minute. It was set like 25 minutes before, and it's not last minute. Look, we'll agree to disagree on that one.
VAR, man.
Anyway, we'll forgive you. I think you're allowed to eat, Paul. We're not going to begrudge you eating, my man.
VAR check. VAR check in. VAR check in. Dave wins. Paul loses. Play on.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. I was going to have fine dining tonight, but I rushed it. I had Swiss rolls and a can of beans instead. So I hope I've sacrificed enough for you lot, you know.
So no Amers Boosh, Paul, no?
No.
No Amers Boosh, you know, no starter, man, no 5-course meal for Paul. We do apologize. Also got this from Dark Sun G. The only worry is the ref, because we didn't win a single game under him last season, and he ref 5 games, 2 draws, 3 losses. Brentford away, Arsenal away, Villa at home, Fulham away, and Chelsea away. Let's finally win with this referee. And as we know, Dark Sun G's a referee connoisseur. You know, he knows exactly what the referee is and how biased he is against Tottenham, which I absolutely love, by the way. Absolutely love it. He's got a little notebook at home where he keeps, track of all the referees and what they've done to Tottenham in games. I'll come back to that one sec, Dark Sun G, but it reminds me, of course, guys, today we are away at St. James's Park. Kickoff is 1:30 p.m. Referee is Robert Jones. In the VAR room, it is Stuart Atwell. If you want to watch the game in the UK and Ireland, I think, it is on Sky Sports today. In the USA, it's on NBCSN. And in Australia, is on Optus Sports. And then just a quick update on the injuries. Botman, Lascelles, Miley, Wilson, and Shar missing for Newcastle. Solanke and Richarlison out for Tottenham Hotspur. So that's everything you need to know in that regard. But Dark Sun G, the referee is, what did I say his name was? Robert Jones. I don't like him. I've Googled him. I do not like him. I remember him exactly. He doesn't give Tottenham a fair shake. Let's see what happens today. If we don't win underneath him, then the curse continues under Rob Jones as well, and we'll have to write to the VAR or to the Referee Association, Dark Sun G. But big yourself up and really appreciate the support, and we will be on Ref Watch today. But guys, I'm already so far behind, so do forgive me. I am just going to crack on. We'll get to the bottom of the chat, and we'll take it from there. But guys, before we get into some match day stuff and just get everyone's quick thoughts on the transfer window. And do you know what, Paul? We'll start with you on the. Soren, we'll start with you on this one, my man, and work our way backwards. Ange Postecoglou has overseen the 3 transfer windows that he asked for, that he asked fans to give him basically when he came in here to be able to reshape the squad. And there has been a lot of criticism regarding some of the new signings, his or the club's approach to maybe reshaping this squad. What's your thoughts on the transfer window we've just had and the criticisms of it, Soren?
You know, it's so frustrating, isn't it? I think at the beginning of the window that a lot of us had some optimism. We were going to do really well this window. We were going to sign some big players. We were going to sign some players for the future. We'd try and get rid of some players. And look, outgoings, absolutely fantastic. That there isn't a bad word we can say about the outgoings. The only bad word I suppose we can say is we didn't get as much money as we wanted, but that's the market. The good thing on that side is we've let them go. We've let them go cheaper just to get them gone. Incomings, look, it was a shit window. Let's not beat about the bush. But, and there is a big but in there, the window when you listen to, if Ange is telling us the truth, if Lang is telling us the truth, it's a building process, and we're not expecting to do the big things this season. We're building for the future. Fed up of hearing that, let's not pretend that it's nothing new. We've been told that for a long time. But the youngsters are exciting. The team is starting to look exciting. If these youngsters produce, then the future is absolutely rosy for Tottenham Hotspur. If they don't, we can look back in hindsight and say how shit it's been. The downside is we really did need at least one or two more experienced players, and I think there's no excuse for not getting them in. We've had enough time, and we should have got them in. But if the youngsters, I mean, I've said that I think Gray is going to be sensational, Bergval's going to be sensational. Erdebaert to me looked good. I'm excited to see him play. So if these three youngsters actually produce to the levels instantly or very quickly, then yeah, maybe we didn't need them. Maybe, and let's not pretend. I mean, I'm sure Paul will hit on this later because he knows a lot more about Ange than I do. But getting these youngsters in, we've got hungry, young, energetic players, which Ange needs in his team. So maybe the window, let's look at it in 6 months or 6 weeks or 6 games, whatever. It could turn out to be a masterstroke. It could be an absolute genius window, but from a fan's perspective, it lacked. It really did lack. And I don't know what else to say.
No, look, I'm sort of the same opinion. I just think it'll come back to haunt us further down the line, whether we just miss out on a trophy or whether we regress. I think we're more relying on Ange Postecoglou's amazing managerial abilities to be able to try and get much better out of everybody this year and push forward. In order to see,
for one of the comments,
yeah.
I am in no way criticising the incomings. I think that the ones we've got are extremely exciting for the future, and hopefully very soon within this Premier League season. Gray, I've shouted from the beginning as soon as we signed him that I think he's going to be a superstar for us. Bergval is going to be a superstar for us. Erdebaert could be a superstar for us. I am in no way criticising these youngsters, but I do think we could have done with at least one more proper experienced player. It doesn't matter who he was. We just needed probably one more experienced player.
No, and look, I completely agree with it. I think we've messed this window up. That's my main concern. I really like Ange. I want to keep him here beyond, this season again. And I just feel like we've pulled back on him a little rather than actually help him. You look at Destiny Edozie, for instance. The guy's barely played preseason. He's been pulled off against Leicester and Everton nice and early because of muscle fatigue, soreness, etc. Yet we didn't bring in another left back to really negotiate that. And what pisses me off about that is if Edozie carries an injury, which he did last season, and when he went missing, it caused us a huge issue. It was up to Postecoglou to try and find a fix for it, rather than him actually having a player there for it, ready to go. And it was Postecoglou that took the brunt of it all. When we didn't have anyone down that left-hand side being able to defend, and we was putting Emerson over there, it was Postecoglou taking the brunt of it, not the club, for the business that they didn't do. And that's what really pisses me off, and that's what concerns me, heading into this season. Some of the areas that we didn't fully cover. And Postecoglou,
I'll just jump in there quickly. Maybe Postecoglou on this one realised Reguilon wasn't going anywhere. Maybe he's going to get that chance.
The thing is with Reguilon, I think there's a couple of windows still open till the 3rd, is it? Or until Monday or Tuesday. So there's still a chance that he could go. I do hear what you say. Me and Jack were secretly hoping this week that he's kept around. So we do have that cover for Destiny Edozie.
So I like him. I think he's, if it is just the attitude problem, then I think keeping him isn't a bad option. because it does give us that left back, and he's good at going forward. He's maybe not as good at defending, but he's certainly, to me, he's a better option than bringing Spence to the left.
Look, in the system, the fullbacks don't have to defend when you've got Van der Ven mopping up everything.
Exactly.
You can almost play a winger there. I mean, we played on his skip there at one stage, didn't we? Paul, what's your thoughts on the transfer window in general, and maybe the criticisms that are coming with it? Because, look, there's a lot. Look, someone like me, I'll go into it, over the international break, but I don't think a lot of the signings are Postecoglou signings. I know, I get what he's saying when he comes out and says, look, I'm the one that picks up the phone, to have the last say on them, make sure they come. But, just him, the club are receiving a lot of criticism for this transfer window. What's your thoughts, Paul?
Well, I don't know, man. I'm a simple guy. I don't read all that much into it, because all I see is last week against Everton, we went 2-0 up at the end of the first half, and in the second half, we didn't have to bring on Højbjerg and Skip to kind of, not quite see the game out, but you know what they're like. You know what they're going to give you. No, we could bring on Bergwijn, Archie Gray. So, in goings and outgoings, who cares? We look better this year than we did last year. Proof's in the pudding, man.
So you think this year, basically, we've got a better squad this year, and that
Way
even if he
better,
does want to
man.
make rotations or suspensions, that he's got players that fit the way he wants to play.
Dude, we got Lo Celso out the door. We've got Royale. I mean, they're all the players that for years we all knew weren't good enough. I mean, fair play to them. I hope they have great careers and service. But we didn't want them, and now we're left with okay. We got Reguilon and Davies. I mean, shit. Okay, I ain't moaning about that because we got rid of so many, man. So many. The breeze is coming through the meadows, and I'm excited also to hear that Lancashire's staying for the season. I think Lancashire he looks like a centre forward to me. I haven't seen him much, but he looks like a centre forward more than Richarlison. So I think, yeah, bugger it. The main hole we filled was we got a centre forward in. I think Dominic Solanke looked all right against Leicester. Hopefully it's not a big injury, and yeah, I think we're looking in good shape. Arsenal are fucking choking already, man. Fucking Declan Rice, dude. What a twat. What a dumb, petulant twat, hey.
Do you know what? It's just the crying after it, It's absolutely madness. It drives me absolutely insane. It's great to see the meltdown already, though. But look, that's Paul's views on the window. Look, I agree to a certain extent that we've got a squad that can all play the one way now. If he wants to make rotational changes, we shouldn't see the drop-off in terms of our style of play and stuff like that. If we make rotations, just, I'll worry, have we done enough under Postecoglou to be able to sustain what he wants, Paul, which is trophies, a title challenge. And look, this is nothing against Ange, because I'm with you. I think Ange is a very good manager. I really like Ange Postecoglou. I just question, have we done enough to really help accelerate what his demands are, though, Paul?
Well, I think he knows it. 4-year contract? So take that on its face value.
Fair.
If within 4 years you want me to win trophies and build a team that's capable of sustained success, and this is the budget you're giving me each year, well, these are the signings I'm going to make, and it's going to be towards the youth side at the beginning. That's the way it's going to be. It's the only way you can do it.
So you reckon Postecoglou has done the best with the budget that he's maybe given them?
He's okayed. He said yes or no. Yeah, I'm happy with it, man.
No, that's fair enough.
Doing, dude.
Let's not forget, with the money we have spent on these youngsters, we could have gone out and bought some experienced players with the exact same money, but we've gone for the youth and the potential. So, it does look like it's a future build rather than an instant build.
But that concerns me, because when you hear Postecoglou say he wants a title challenge, when you hear him say he wants to deliver trophies, it concerns me a little. That we haven't matched his ambition, like you said, Soren, that we're building for the future rather than building for Postecoglou now. However, some of the younger players we have signed are very, very talented, which gives them a chance to maybe, come good for the here and now.
He's setting the tone. He's setting the tone. We want to win titles. He's setting the tone of the club. Okay, whether we'll do it this year, I don't know. I'd love to do it this year, man. But this is what we're aiming for. That's what he's saying. He's not coming in saying, okay, in year one, we'll finish fifth.
Well, he did say, last year,
two,
though, Paul, he wanted to be in a title challenge this year. They are his words from last year.
It wasn't so much what
you want to be.
If you
want to
read
be in
it,
a
it
title
was
challenge
we'd
every
like
year,
to be.
man. That's what you want to aim to be that every year. He would have come into the club, fresh down from Glasgow last year, saying, "I want to win the title this year," not, "Oh, this year's a build." Or he wanted to win it last year, man. He wanted to win it this year and the next year, every fucking year. That's what we want.
Fair. Sorry, you wanted to say something there, sir?
I think when you listen to what he says, it's very easily to take it how each person wants to take it. But if you actually put this statement in front of you and analyze it, what he was saying was, we should be aiming to be there. We should be aiming to maybe do a title challenge, win something. And I don't want to just finish in the top four. I want to finish in the top four easily, challenging for the title and challenging for cups. Is this team good enough to win a cup? Yeah, it actually is. Will we win a cup? I don't know. The probability is no. Does that mean we've failed? Not necessarily. But this team with these youngsters in, once they get playing and once they get into the squad and whether they start or whether they come on as impact subs or whatever, they have the energy and the belief in themselves to make this team something more than it was. Now, there's a lot of comments out there saying, are we better than last year? Are we weak? I think we are better. I agree with Paul. I think we are better for the simple reason we've probably got players now that want to play for Ange in this system, for this club. Last season, we had a lot of players that were there to take a wage and to play. And you could look at it and you could say a lot of them did not give 100% at all. That they were there just to go through the motions. And I think we've said it before, years and years over the years, that it's not necessarily having a team of the best players. It's having a team of players that are a team and that play together as a team. And I think these younger guys will do that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they will anyway.
Fair enough. One thing I do agree with is the bench now. He does have, and this one thing he used very well at Celtic, and he's known for this. He understands that his system is sort of relentless. It's a lot of energy to expel. And he does need that bench to be able to come off and keep the sort of, the pressing nice and high, and the way he wants to play. And he has got that this year. When you look at the players coming off the bench, he's got a lot more players to be able to turn to try and change the game than what he had last year. I definitely agree with that. Dermot, just before we come to you, let's say hi to William Kelly, all the way from down under. Long time no see. Where have you gone, William? I haven't seen you about in I don't know how long, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well. Hopefully things have gone well, with the family and that. He says, big up Davey boy, Dermot and Paul. Hope all is well, boys. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, William. Really appreciate the support, my man. And good to see you. And honestly, hopefully life is keeping well for you. Hopefully life is keeping well for the son. And, hopefully you ended up getting married like you were supposed to, William. So if you didn't, I apologize, but I know you were supposed to last time I was speaking to you. So good to see you, and hopefully you're keeping well, sir. Really, really good to see you. That's a nice surprise. But Dermo, your thoughts on the transfer window? You've heard what Soren and Paulus had to say. What's your thoughts, my man?
Look, outgoings, you can't criticise the outgoings. They were brilliant, and we've got the players out. I do disagree on Højbjerg, though. That I think Højbjerg's one of them players I think we could have kept around. I think we needed that bit of experience. I know people don't like him. I know people don't rate him. But for me, I was a massive Højbjerg fan. I thought he did bring something to the squad. You go back to that Chelsea game last season when he kicked that ball off the line and you saw the emotion. That's what he was always without when he put the shirt on. He prayed for the shirt. He was proud to wear that shirt. You didn't get that off of Dyer or the rest of them that have left, but you got that off Højbjerg. The incomings, Bergville's great. Archie Gray's great. Solanke, I'm still out on. Whether Ivan Toney would have got them 2 chances, you don't know. I wanted a big name striker. Anyone that's going to follow Harry Kane is always going to be not great. I feel very underwhelmed by the incomings, to be fair. I wanted we could have gone for like a telly for 15 million as a defensive midfielder. We need experience in this team. I said it last night. This team's full of youngsters. This team's full of hunger. This team's full of ambition. But you need leaders on that pitch to guide them to do. And the people who've got there are not doing enough. Are not doing enough in the leadership value, in my view. And we needed a few more experienced players in there to guide them. So I feel we could have done so much more. We had a chance to really go against the big boys. All the rest of them were supposed to be FFP problems. Can't spend any money. We've got money to burn. And the other teams, again, have stolen a march on us where we've done just enough. And where I'm happy with what we've done, I just feel very underwhelmed and very frustrated that we could have done a bit more. But we've got January coming up, so maybe we'll do something in January. Who knows? And Ange will take us to the promised land. Ange will get us there, but I just want him to have the best players for his system, not the club. Not what the club wants. I want him what he wants. And has he got everything that he wants? I don't think so.
No, look, well, it's hard to say he does. He doesn't have a left-sided centre-back, doesn't have a left-back. We left him short in that regard. And I'm quite surprised about it, considering, the hassle we had when Van der Ven and Edozie went injured last summer. I think, it was so obvious that needed to happen this summer. And I don't think it's a case that Ange didn't want to bring in guys to play in there. I think it's more of a case that Tottenham couldn't get the business done. I'm concerned about Johan Lang. I'm going to say it now. I think he's a bit of a Steve Hitchin. I think he has all these great ideas, but I feel like he doesn't know how to negotiate or get the deals over the line. When you look at the likes of Eze, it's clear it was a Tottenham target. Couldn't get it over the line. If Paratici was still in here, that would have happened. And I just worry that, he's had to pivot a lot this window. And I just fear he's left Ange Postecoglou short, but Ange is a good manager. He got a lot out of the squad that other managers couldn't get last season. Let's see what he does this season. But anyone wants to hear my thoughts, just go back and listen to all the streams I've done last week. I'm not repeating myself again. And that's ultimately why I'm glad the window's closed, because I don't have to keep repeating myself about the window. But we are going to move on because we do have a big game today. We've got Dark So G. I love how Rice is out for the North London Derby, plus his backup Marino. It's absolutely fantastic. Only Arsenal sign a player and he goes injured the same day. It's absolutely brilliant. Look, that midfield, it's a strong point of theirs. It protects that back line, especially Gabriel Saliba. Without Declan Rice there, it was got at yesterday. It was vulnerable, and that gives us a good chance heading into this North London Derby if they don't get that sorted out by then, Dark Sun G. At one stage, what was it? I think I seen one of the Brighton players run that way, pulling one centre back and the other one and running straight in behind by the space that he left. It was absolutely brilliant from Brighton yesterday, that goal to get back into the game. He also says, I love how Guna fans are finally crying about the referee. What was it? I heard the whole stadium yesterday singing the referee's a banker. You're not fit to referee and stuff like that. Look, what do we expect from them guys, to be brutal? I know we give out a lot about referees here, but you never see the Spurs fans stand up in unison in a stadium and start chanting the referee's a banker and all that sort of stuff. I think it just lacks class from them, to be honest. Go on, Paul.
I've never seen it, man. I've never seen it. I've never seen Spurs fans do that. Never.
We have a different sort of class,
Classy,
about
man.
us. They weren't, and do you know what it is? I think it was a bit of desperation yesterday, Dark Sun G. They were so used to the referees helping them and giving them decisions last year that they can't take it when it's given against them, my man.
It's pretty sweet. But it's pretty sweet was the way the Arsenal fans were going off, because the Brighton player sort of clipped,
that man
clipped him, and he went down. Doing a Oscar performance, and then
he went down. He went down because he knew another yellow card was coming for kicking the ball away.
Yeah. So he's trying to distract and get the other guy sent off, and then the red card came out. Off you go, man. Red card.
Great to see you. I think you text me, Paul, when I was on my way home. I was absolutely buzzing with the news because I checked it as soon as I got back to the car. It was 1-0. And then you text me, as soon as I got home, saying basically that, You know, Arse Brighton were back in it, and Rice has gone for the North London Derby. I was absolutely buzzing. I skipped in here. Tony Rodriguez has become a new YouTube member. Big up, Tony. Good to see you, sir, and welcome to the Irish Hotspur community, the ever-growing community. Please do check out the all the members only content that we are producing and putting out there. Really appreciate the support, buddy. Faz Radfar 3-1 Spurs, except Davies and Werner. The players are better now. 100%. Look, Davies, he's going to run down his contract. He's got one more year left, and I think he'll end up leaving on a free next year. Probably head out to Saudi or something like that, rake in, you know, some career money for the end of his career. When it comes to Timo Werner, that's why we didn't get someone like Chiesa or players like that, in my opinion. As soon as we brought him in on the wages we did, and we had very little non-homegrown spots available in the squad, once he came in, it decimated our chances in the European market. What annoys me about the Werner one is I don't think we had to do it as soon as we did. I don't think there was going to be any interest in him. And I think we could have held out later on to the market to bring him in if we couldn't get other options in. And I think we messed up a little bit there, Faz. Big yourself up, my man. You've got Stevie D, member for 22 months, morning all, easy with no drama, or easy win with no drama. Come on, you Spurs. I mean, I think that's what we're all hoping for today, Steve D. But these games with Tottenham and Newcastle, even if it's at our place, it throws up a lot of drama. It's weird. We smash them at our place, and we go up there to get smashed. You know, it's absolutely a mad sort of fixture, this one, Steve D. But look, hopefully a game today with no drama, that would be nice. But that doesn't sound like Tottenham Hotspur, to be brutally honest with you. And we've got this from DDMKTHFC85. I mean, that is an absolute mouthful. He says, we've improved our depth. All this negativity is pointless. Judging Solanke after one game is moronic. People also moaned about Van de Ven, Vicario, etc. Not me. I didn't moan about Van de Ven, Vicario, etc. I did think we had very good signings. However, I do have my concerns about Solanke. I'm going to give him a pass. I think he wasn't sharp for that Leicester game. I think if he's a lot sharper, he takes a couple of them chances. But when we signed him, my big thing was, it's a bit different stepping up to this level with this pressure, this demand, and finishing under that. So I'll wait for him to get back from injury. I'll give him a run of 4 or 5 games, and I'll see what he will provide. Now, I don't want anyone to say, Dave, you're just being moronic. I loved Harry Kane. Everyone knows that. I love great strikers, and this is the standard that I want, you know, my players to even try and drag themselves towards. That would be nice. But anyone want to say that to DDMK's super chat here before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, I just find it quite comical that all the people that were moaning about Vicario when we first signed him suddenly knew how good he was once he started playing well. And, you know, there's a few YouTubers out there that suddenly are telling us all that they were praising the signing and all that. Let's not bullshit here. Most of the fan base were wanting Raya, and I'm one of them. But I'll tell you what, I am so glad we didn't. I am so glad we got Vicario because I think he's a fantastic goalkeeper. Van de Ven, Tapsoba, exactly right. Everybody wanted Tapsoba. You know, Van de Ven was a bit more of an unknown player unless you actually knew who he was. It was we've signed the cheaper option, and it turned out to be a masterstroke. So, you know, let's not joke about this. That hopefully Solanke is going to be the one. I never wanted Tony. I'm not saying he wasn't a good player. I just don't think he was the right player. Solanke, I'm not saying I wanted him, but now he's here. We get behind him.
No, 100%. And in fairness, I think Van de Ven, I think that was Jacob's bag, that one. You know, he knew exactly who he was and the player we were getting. Yeah. Jacob from United Spurs of America, so fair play to him. Look, reality is we're all fans. We're all going to have our opinions on the transfer window. But let's wait and see how it actually pans out. You know, let's wait and see and deal with it from there. But big up DDMK, Paul, Dermot. Anything more you want to say?
Look, Solanke. We have to wait. We have to wait and see what happens with Solanke. He's a Spurs player now. I will support him. Once he puts that shirt on, he gets my 100% support. Would I have liked a better striker? Of course I would have done. Would I have liked a Gimenez? Would I have liked a Jonathan David? Would I have liked somebody around near enough to a Harry Kane striker? Yeah, of course we would. And we should have replaced him when he left last year, but it was so late in the window and we shot ourselves in the foot. But he's here. We support him. We will give him all our backing. And I hope he works off. I hope he works out, because he the way he's got back now to the top of the game, you've got to give him credit for that. He started at Chelsea, Liverpool. He was at the bottom of the mountain, and he, with determination, hard work, and commitment, he's worked his way back up to the big club again. So at that point, you've got to give him credit. And this is redemption for him. And let's back him. Let's not slag him off. Let's back him. Let's give him all our support. He may not be the player you wanted, but he's a Spurs player. And let's back him all the way, because I think he deserves credit for the hard work to get back to where he is now, for where he was. And fair play to him on that point of view.
No, that's absolutely fair. I've already said I feel like I've been the Grinch this week. I told everybody, early that there'd be no signings deadline day and stuff like that. And I don't want to be the Grinch again today. However, Paul O'Keefe has put out that Van de Ven will miss today's game and that Radu Dragusin will come in for him. Paul O'Keefe is usually spot on with a lot of the stuff that he has to say. I mean, guys, Paul doesn't like that news. He's gone. He's gone to rest up on the couch. He's gone to have it. No, I don't think he drinks. I was going to say he has a beer or something. He doesn't. I think he'll be back. But guys, how big of a blow is Van de Ven today? I mean, Dermo, we'll start with you, my man. It's a huge loss.
It's a huge loss. It's a massive loss. I just hope Rudu comes in and does his job. But I'm worried now. I am really worried. And to Chris BT, there's your wave. They asked me for a wave. I'm worried. But look, I am worried. Van de Ven is so important to us. But look, Rudu's come in. We've bought him for these. We've bought him for this. It's now to him now to come up and step up and do the job. Prove to us why we've bought you now, Rudu. Prove to us you're the defender that can step in and when one of these two get injured. Let's prove to us you can do it. But yeah, I'm worried now. Where I wasn't worried before, I'm worried now.
Soren, I mean, are you worried, or could it be? I'm not going to say a blessing in disguise, but could it work out in our favour today? Maybe bringing in a Radu Dragusin, because Van de Ven, Edozie, Porro, and Romero were the backline last year that got run absolute ragged, and they were going to look like they were set to come out here today. How do you think Radu Dragusin will get on stepping in? And of course, is Van de Ven a big blow to Tottenham's chances today?
Well, let's not pretend Van de Ven is a massive part of our back four. He's saved us on numerous occasions. But what's the point in having a backup like Dragusin if when we need him he can't come in to step up? So am I worried? You're always worried when you lose one of your best players. Is it all doom and gloom? No, of course it isn't. We've signed him. He's shown he can be a good defender. And yeah, I mean, I don't suddenly think, well, we've lost the game because Van de Ven's not playing. I think, right, Dragusin, let's see what you can do. Step up. Show us the type of defender you are. Now, to me, Dragusin is I've got to be careful how I say this because people will think I mean something differently. But Dragusin is a better defender within the box, whereas Van de Ven is a far better defender running back and making the tackle. And I think Dragusin is that old style defender where it's a no nonsense type player. And look, I mean, let's not forget he's not slow. Dragusin is not slow. He's got some pace behind him, so. I'm worried, but I'm not as worried as we could have been. Had it been Davis coming in or somebody else, then I would be more worried. It's what it is. Let's not suddenly doom and gloom. We've still got a good enough squad to go there and hopefully do the damage.
No, look, I absolutely hear you. I think Van de Ven being out, is a bit of a blow. I do agree with you, that I think Radu Dragusin, is probably better in and around the box, whereas Van de Ven is better at them recovery runs. But I wonder how much of a hit the high line that we're going to play today is going to take. Van de Ven bails us out a lot of trouble. Romero and Dragusin don't quite have that pace. However, Dragerson should help us in the air from set pieces today, which will be a huge plus. And despite Mickey van der Ven being a really big guy, that is one area of his game where I think maybe he's a bit weak. You know, for the size of him, he should be up there commanding anything that comes in there, and he doesn't. So maybe Dragerson will help in that regard. However, playing out from the back, I think we're going to take a slight hit. And the reason why I say that is the right-hand side has been our weakest side this season in terms of being able to move that ball, fluidity down that right-hand side between Romero, Porro, and Johnson. It's a huge problem. Where we have been absolutely devastating over the last 2 games is coming down that left-hand side. And with Van der Ven, a lot of it is because it's one touch straight out of his foot, straight out to Sonny first time. Radu Dragerson won't be able to do that because he doesn't have a left foot. He's constantly going to have to come back in on the right foot, which is a little concern for me playing out from the back. I'm not sure we're going to quite see the same fluidity down that left-hand side. And like I said, it concerns me because that has been our most dangerous side over the first 2 games of this season. So a little worried there. However, this is Radu Dragerson's big chance. He's been sitting there. He's waited for it. His agent has come out, almost asked Ange to speak to him back 3 last season to be able to give him his opportunity. Now is the time to either put up or tell your agent to shut up, is what I would say to Radu Dragerson. So let's wait and see what he does. Let's wait and see if he can put in that performance and stake a claim for one of them positions, because that's what he's here to do at the end of the day. But don't shoot me if it doesn't turn out to be true, but that does seem what Paul O'Keefe has said, is that Van der Ven will be out injured today. And lastly, I think the club are at blame for this, or the management, because I feel like as soon as he done that knee problem, knowing the injuries that he's had last season, knowing the games we've got coming up, regardless whether he says he's okay to continue, he should have been hauled off for his own protection. You know, I think, you know, playing on it for the next 45 minutes, done more damage, takes longer to recover. And I think ultimately that's what's led him being out today. Am I fearful that he'll be out for the North London Derby? Not whatsoever. I think, you know, he'll be back by then. But I do think this is something, it's the same as Solanke. He's missing the last 2 games because he played through an injury against Leicester. This can't continue to happen. This is why we build a squad. This is why we buy squad players, so that we don't have to, you know, do this. And now we're getting the repercussions of it, which I do not like. Sometimes you have to protect players for their own good, and that's what the manager's about. That's what the manager's here for an oversight, not for the hearing, not for the initial things, but for the oversight of the things. And that's where he has to step in and say, "Look, Solanke, we've got Newcastle away. We've got Arsenal coming up. We've got Brentford and Man United, notoriously tough fixtures for Tottenham. I'm taking you out for your own good to make sure you're ready for these." And that's where I think we've got it slightly wrong with Van der Ven, and that's why he's out tonight. We're paying the price for not getting him off the pitch and putting him out there for even longer. I get he made that lung busting run at the end of the game, but the game was already done by then. Sorry, Gwen.
But Dave, when we sit here and we say we're worried about Van der Ven not playing and Dregs, it's going to happen through the season through tactical changes anyway. So why is it all of a sudden a problem because he's injured today, when we know at some point Dragerson is going to have to play as first choice because we need the rotation? So we shouldn't be worried about one. I mean, I get it that it's Newcastle away and all this lot, but if he's not good enough to come in, then that's the bigger problem, not necessarily that all of a sudden we've lost Van der Ven, so we have to do it. At some point, we are going to do it through choice, not through necessity.
Yeah.
I'll get
no,
there.
100%. I absolutely hear you on that. For me, where the problem maybe comes in for me is Radu Dragerson isn't left-footed. If we want to play this system to its full effect, we should have went into the market and tried to bring in that guy with that left foot to play that side. Look, it's also up to Radu Dragerson to try and use it, try and become stronger on that left-hand foot. That's just where my only concern comes in. And look, Soren, that's a concern that I've had for quite some time with Radu Dragerson. Even last season when he's filled in, he doesn't have that left foot, and we take the hit. You know, you go back to some of the games he started early on in the games. It takes him a little bit of time to settle in. You know, sometimes he's prone to making, you know, a pass out of play and stuff like that until he finds his range, and that's because he hasn't to come inside on his right foot all the time, rather than one touch and play it down the left where the space is. But I hear you. I do hear you. This is what this moment he's waiting for. Shouldn't be so scared. Let's see what he's made of. Absolutely spot on. Sorry, Dharma, I'll cut you off, my man.
That's all right. Look, with Rudu, look, I get what Soren's saying, but also I more get what you're saying too, Dave. He hasn't had enough time. Somebody put it in the chat, and it's spot on. He hasn't had enough time to get sort of acclimatized to the Premier League, Because Van de Ven and Romero have played a lot of football together, he's only got bit parts teams. So if he does start a game, it takes him 10 to 15 minutes to get going. But where I do agree with Soren is we're going to have to use him this season. He's right for tactical reasons, for injuries. Maybe he's going to get his game time in early Europe or the early in the cup games. He is a good defender. He proved that in the Euros with his country. He can play. It's just he needs to start the game on the front foot. He needs to start the game quickly. And instead of waiting...
The argument against what you're saying there is, well, this is his chance to get that chance. Because,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
It's a double-edged sword saying, well, he hasn't had the time to play. Well, now he's got the time to play. So, unfortunately, it's not through choice, and it's a big it's a bigger game. But, look, to me, it's probably a better option bringing him on against Newcastle than a lesser team because he's pumped for a game against Newcastle. You bring him on against a Leicester or something, and it's like the whole team isn't as pumped. They'll be going to Newcastle if they have anything about them. Those players that were there last season will be going to Newcastle say, this ain't happening again. And that's where you think Radu and all them lot have got to come in and think, right, I'm up for this game. I'm gonna produce. I'm gonna show what I can do. And without these games, he doesn't get the option to play.
Yeah. But to be fair, they should be pumped for every game. It doesn't matter if it's against Newcastle, Leicester, or Rotherham United. They should be pumped 1,000% and going for it. And I don't care who they play. And Rudu, for me, has an opportunity today to prove to Ange, to prove to us, to prove to everyone that he is the player we bought him for. He, the player, can come in and step up. Come on, Rudu. Show your balls. Show your passion. Show your spirit. Show us what you can do.
Well, let's go. Big opportunity for Radu Dragosin today. Let's see how the fire breather, a.k.a. the Dragon, gets on today. Now, we are just going to take a quick, brief pause, guys. A quick, brief moment, because today we are sponsored by NordVPN, and NordVPN and myself and Jack are here to help fellow Spurs fans and football assessed fans, basically shop around and be able to save money, which I think is very important right now in a time of inflation. Basically, you could save yourself money by using our NordVPN link pinned in the top of the chat in the description with our code FLATCAP, which is all one word. Basically, what a NordVPN is, it allows you to be able to shop around the internet, which I'll get onto. But the reason why I'm using it right now is because the likes of BT Sports, Sky Sports, I'm paying €73 a month. I don't get all the Spurs games, and that's ultimately what I'm paying for it because of the likes of 3 p.m. blackouts. Well, there is none of that over in America, and that initiative is to try and get us down to get to lower league games, which is absolutely codswallop because we don't really care about that. So I'm now going to use my NordVPN to sign up to Peacock TV, and that's only going to be £8 a month, plus my NordVPN subscription, which is only the price of a cup of a coffee a month. I'm basically saving myself 50 to 60 quid every single month, which is absolutely brilliant. I know my missus is happy because it means more presents for her, or my stomach will be happy because that's an extra 5 kebab meals every single month for your big boy Dave. So that is the benefits of having NordVPN, especially in a world where inflation is really high and we're being charged an absolute fortune to just follow our team. NordVPN basically allows you to be able to shop around the internet and bounce your location around and get the best price for you, especially with Christmas coming up. We all need to be able to save money. Now, also, it's not only you can use it for football, you can use it to book flights from different locations, get cheaper flights, hotels, all that sort of good stuff. And also, NordVPN is very good for the whole family. Once you buy one, you can use it for up to 10 devices. So, your kids, your missus, everybody else can use it as well if you want to get cheaper TV packages, etc., all across the world. NordVPN, also, it's a premium cybersecurity for the price of a cup of coffee per month. NordVPN does have a threat protection feature which protects you from viruses, malicious malware, and phishing sites. Protecting your data whilst traveling and using public Wi-Fi. NordVPN protects you wherever you are in the world. And I know, for example, Drewzilla, lives in America, had to come back to England using a NordVPN to sign back into his subscriptions, so we didn't have to buy new ones over here to be able to watch the games. And also, NordVPN protects your private data like bank details, passwords, and online identity, so it is safe for you to shop through that. Where else am I? Make sure I'm getting it all here, guys. 1 second, just bear with me. Also, NordVPN is the fastest VPN on the internet. My dad, he absolutely loves it. And the reason why is because he doesn't like to pay for the sports channels. He tries to get them through other means. And I used to do that. However, what used to frustrate me was he used to buffer an awful lot, especially when there was chances either end. Basically, what I was watching is what was happening in the middle. But any chances coming up, I would absolutely miss. But since my dad is using this VPN, there is no buffering. He can watch the game, no problem whatsoever. So, guys, that is the benefits of having a VPN. Save you money, shop around, get the best price for you, which is the main thing. And the link is in the pinned in the comment section, in the description below. Simply click on it. It'll bring you across. Flat cap, all one word, and get yourself a very nice discount. There's a couple of plans there. There's a monthly plan, there's a yearly plan, or a 2-year plan. So, guys, make sure you get over that, get on that, and thank us and NordVPN for bringing you this great collaboration to be able to save you money. So that's how I end up watching all the games here. Some people go, Dave, it's 3 p.m. blackout today. How are you watching the game? I simply bounce my location, pretend I'm living in Seattle by Jack, and I'm watching it on Peacock TV. It's that simple. It's all you got to do. It's completely legal. So, guys, make sure you get on that. But, guys, let's keep that moving. That is, and thank you to NordVPN, by the way, for the partnership this month. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. Anyone that wants to know more about what I'm saying, please get in contact, and I'll have no problem getting onto it. But, look, guys, let's keep this moving. We've got Super Dermo. I think you've got a lot of noise in the background there, my man. Let's just keep this moving. Timman007 says, I would love to know how many fans wanted Solanke, Gray, and Udebert when ITKs were linking us with Eze, Neto, Tony, etc. Once again, left ourselves short and putting too much pressure on these kids. I do hear what you're saying. Look, fairness, Jack wanted Solanke. He brought him up to me midway last season. He's like, Dave, I wouldn't mind taking a punt on this guy to sort our striker issue. I pushed back on it. I says, Jack, I think there's a lot better out there. However, we ended up with Solanke. Archie Gray, I'll be honest, I think there was a lot of fans excited about this signing. This one may be in isolation in the window because of the talent he possesses. Everyone is well aware, of that he's going to be a future England player, the talent that this guy possesses. And this was, I'll be fair on this, this was one that did excite fans. Look, I remember putting out a tweet going, nothing against Gray, but to only bring him in the PSR window when we could have done more to try and gain advantage in that window was a bit disappointing. I had many Spurs fans going, Dave, shut up. This guy's a great signing. So Spurs fans did want him. When it comes to Udebert, look, let's be brutally honest. Nobody wanted Udebert. Nobody mentioned his name whatsoever. Absolutely nobody. And I think on this one, we've pivoted. I think we tried to get a Neto. It didn't happen. I think that's when Ange Postecoglou's words come out and said, it's very important that we sign players that want to come here and not players that are telling me they've got options and waiting for me to convince them. I think that applies to Tony. I think that applies to Neto. And I think that's why we didn't get them. And I think that's why we pivoted and brought in someone like an Udebert. However, Udebert had a very good debut the other day. I'm very excited to see what this guy can bring. I'm not naive to know that he's not going to solve all of our problems up in the forward area. But he's a lot more ready than what maybe I initially first thought he was. But I do get in general what you're saying. And look, with the Udebert one, it maybe shows that the ITKs don't absolutely know everything, right? Nobody knew this one was happening. I think it was a very last minute. He had all his medical done and everything. The club were set to announce it, and then people were getting wind of it. But again, I do agree with you. I think we have left ourselves with a lot of pressure on some of the kids. If we get injuries to the midfield, all your pressure is on Papa Matsar, Bergvall, Gray. If you get an injury to anybody in the forward line, we've already seen how much pressure we're putting on Udebert to come in and perform now. And with the youngsters, you are going to see inconsistencies, ups and downs, and that's where maybe my concern comes into this window. And that's where I agree with Soren that we could have went after this window and brought in a few more experienced players to really help guide these youngsters and pull them along. You listen to the class of 91 or 92, whatever they're called. They all speak about the great senior pros they had in the dressing room to pull them along, the great senior pros on the pitch to be able to get them over the line in games, which then shows them the know-how and stuff like that. That's where I think we've missed a trick this market, Tim Man. But anyone want to, Soren, Dermot, want to say out to Tim Man here?
I want to say something. Oh, go on, Dermot. You go first.
No, you go first, Soren. You're about to speak, sir.
I want to say something with this in the know. All these in the knows didn't get one single transfer right this season. So what a load of crap. You know, we were linked to all. If all these in the know people link us to as many people as they can, they're probably going to get one or two right, and then all of a sudden the class is in the know. Signing people like Odeberg, yes, none of us knew it was coming. Great, none of us knew it was coming. Bergvalt, fair enough, we knew it was coming. The Korean lad, none of us knew it was coming until it happened. So all these in the knows and all these people having meltdowns because we didn't sign these players. Were we ever in for these players? You know, who is anymore? Tottenham have done an absolute stellar thing this transfer window by keeping everything quiet. Nobody knew what was happening. Nobody knew who was coming in. And I have sat here and listened to so many people telling us, oh, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. We're getting this player, we're getting this player. And we've got none of them. So, like I've been saying, all transfer window, until we sign that player, we don't know who that we were in for.
No,
so,
fair.
You know, I mean, look, was we excited knowing about Gray? No, because nobody knew about it. When he signed, I'm not going to pretend that I knew everything about the lad. I've heard of him. I've got a lot of Leeds fans as friends. They all told me how good he was. I've seen him play last season, and I'm excited for him. I think he is going to be a star. He is going to be phenomenal. Whether it's this season or next season, I don't know. But he will play a big part for us this season. He will.
I really hope so. There's part of me that I look at Archie Gray, and there's parts of his games I say, yeah, he's ready to make an impact. But then there's other parts where like he needs to develop that, and it might take him maybe that 1 year. It'd be interesting. Let's wait and see what happens. Dermot, do you want to say out to Tim Man 007 here?
Yeah, firstly to Soren, I do have a very good source. I have got a few things right. I
don't think Soren was having a pop at you, Dermot.
No, I'm putting this out here to all these, some of the internet. I do have a good source, and I only put out news that I know that's correct. A lot of these internodes put out every bit of news, like Tottenham are going to sign Eze, Tottenham are going to do this, Tottenham are going to do that. I agree with Soren on that. That just gets up my wick, because you know full well he ain't coming. Now, we were in for Eddie, but we wouldn't pay the asking price. So if we won't pay the asking price, he's not coming. I think a lot of these people, a lot of these internodes seem to just read something and then run with it. The source I do have works within the football industry, works within the FA. So it's pretty damn well reliable. On the Eze, Nete, Tony stuff, all we had to do was pay the money for these players. That's all we had to do. And you are right, Soren, about Archie Gray. We didn't know nothing about Odegaard. That came out of like nowhere. And maybe that's the way Tottenham want to do their business now. Maybe that's the way Tottenham should do their business. Behind closed doors, quietly, efficiently. And where I do agree with this, I do agree with Dave on Lang. A Paratici Postecoglou team up is a far better team up than a Lang and Postecoglou team up. Because look at the players we got in last season. We've got a Van der Ven. We've got a Vicario. We've got a Destiny. We've got a Porro. And if you look at this season, yeah, we've got Bergville and we've got Archie Gray. But I just feel a Paratici Postecoglou team up is better than a Lang Postecoglou team up myself. But sorry, I wasn't having a pop at you.
Oh, no, okay, yeah.
No, I've had a lot of people say to me, I had a go at me, and I'm just putting the point out. I use we don't put out rumours. I put out stuff that I use, and the bloke I use, he runs a YouTube channel, but he also works within the FA, and that's who I get my information.
The thing with that, Derm, I mean, like I say, I'm not having a go at you personally. I'm having a go at the whole in the know.
I get
and
it.
The thing is, the thing is with that. I mean, like you say, you know, your source is very good, but that doesn't mean to say that his source, you know, that where he's getting his information is always right. And look, I mean, we all know that when we're linked to like Eze and Tony, there probably were discussions there. I don't think anybody can say there wasn't, but that doesn't mean to say that we're 100% in for those players. I mean, we say, well, we won't pay the money for Eze and Tony. We've paid more for Solanke than we would have done for Tony. We've paid more for Solanke than we probably would have done for Tony, for Eze. So to say the money's not there and that's the reason we haven't signed them I don't think that's necessarily correct. I think what's probably happened is we've gone to these clubs and we've said, is he available? Yes, he's maybe available. Gone back to Ange Postecoglou and said, right, these are the players that are available to us. And Ange just maybe then looked at it and said, well, I don't want Tony. I don't want Eze. And I mean, I'm not saying that's what's happened, but, you know, you look at it and think, well, if we really, if these were the players that Ange wanted, to me, we would have got one of them. It wouldn't have been we've got none of them. And I think what Ange has probably done is he's looked at the thing out there and said, right, look, let's go for the younger ones because I can mold them into my team. I can mold them to the players I want. You bring in a Tony. I said from day one that I didn't think Tony was the right type of striker for us. I'm not saying he's not a good striker. I don't think he was the right striker for us. I'm not saying Solanke is, but he fits the Ange system more than a Tony does. Now, Eze, look, again, I said it would be a fantastic marquee signing for the club, but I didn't see where he fitted in. It's a strange one with Eze because he's got the talent. He is a fantastic player, but he was kind of coming into a position that we had good players already in. And the thing with that is, was Eze going to come and either sit on the bench or not play as a full-time first-team player? I don't know. But, you know, I think we all got... We do it every season and we do it every transfer window where we sit here and say, oh, we're going to sign him, we're going to sign him. Why haven't we signed him? Why didn't you pay the money? Well, we've seen in the past, all those names that we were linked with, we hardly ever sign any of them.
Well, look, we'll move on from the transfer window. Interesting discussion there between the two boys about the ITKs and that interesting point on Soren. And look, you know, to the Solanke and Tony point, Postecoglou relies heavily on the right character. And, you know, Tony was never really going to maybe fit that, which is a bit disappointing. But look, we've got Solanke. Let's see what he does. You know, that's why Solanke was brought in over Tony, because he's, you know, a better character, and that matters to Ange Postecoglou. But guys, all talk about the ITKs. Your boy is the only one that's had 100% hit rate this summer, you know, with the Kim Min-hyuk one out there before anybody. Even Fabrizio Romano, I'll put it out there that was happening. So if you want a reliable ITK, your boy, I'm only messing. I'm not at all, and I'd never want to be one either. Transfer window wrecks my head. But, you know, it does show that the ITKs don't know everything, because I did get to the Hyuk one before anybody else. We've got Ribsy85 says, I'm on holiday in Bali and use Stavo's NordVPN to use my Optus Sport from Bali. Yeah, I'm a shill. Sue me, it works. Come on, you Spurs. Well, first of all, I mean, Bali's a really nice place to go. I've seen all the pictures. Everyone that's gone there has always said it's an absolute fantastic place. It's supposed to be like tropical paradise, my man. So make sure you enjoy yourself out there. I know Johnny, you know, people know from around here, you know, Sean's channel as well. He was just not too long ago out in Bali, said he absolutely loved it. And I'm glad that the NordVPN worked for you and you're up to sports, my man. That's the great thing about it. You know, before, when I used to have to travel, I used to have problems trying to get into my subscriptions and that. Now, just use the VPN, bounce it over. But not only that, I save myself a fortune. So, you know, I can buy kebabs, spice bags. 1 month might treat the missus instead of treating my stomach. You never know. But that's the great thing about it. And Ribsy, big up, my man. and really appreciate that. So everybody, make sure you get on to the NordVPN. It really helps you out. Like I said, only a price of a cup of coffee. We've got this from Mr. Trestain as well. Question, how can we trust Ange when he said there that these were all his signings? He will be out by Xmas. Can you all try and change my mind? First of all, I'm not here to change anybody's mind. I'm not that sort of guy. I'm just here to share my opinion. I think the same with the boys here. But we'll give our opinion on it right after that. It's up to you what you want to make of it, my man. Dermo, I'll let you go first on this one, buddy.
Yeah, sorry about the noise in the background.
No, you're all good.
It's a madhouse in my house this morning. Everyone gets up. I thought 10:30, everyone would be quiet in bed. Everyone's just got up at the same time. It's just a mad, so I do apologise.
You're all good. We get it.
I don't have to change your mind, Ryan. It's up to you what you think and what you do. But if you're a Spurs fan, like you say you are, and you support Tottenham, you support the man who's in charge. If you wanting Ange out by Christmas is a defeatist attitude, in my opinion. Ange is here to stay. Ange will take us to the promised land. I know what Ange can do. I'm a massive Celtic fan. So I know, so is Dave, and so was Paul, and Soren's probably seen a lot of Ange as well. So we all know what he can do. We all know what this man can do. And to say he'd be out by Christmas, then who do you want in? Who do you want? If you say he's out by Christmas, who do you want in? And we can trust Ange. Ange has proven that he can be trusted. Look at the way we're playing. You were complaining, and we were all complaining under a Conte and the Mourinho of the football we were playing. We're playing front foot football. It's it's all about, it's a bit back to the Aussie years. We're going to score more than you. And it's football we love. It's the Tottenham way. It's the Tottenham DNA. He's tapped into that. He's got the fans behind him, or the majority of the fans behind him. The players love him. The players will run through a brick wall for him. Do you want a Conte again? Do you want a Mourinho? And who's out there? If you are saying he'd be sacked by Christmas, who's going to be out there? We're going to get a Harry Potter or somebody like that. That's going to regress us back to how we were playing before. Trust in Ange. Trust in his methods, and it's the second coming. I've said it before. It was Puskas that taught Arthur Rowe to push and run. It was Puskas then taught Postecoglou when he was a player the traditions of playing push and run. We're watching a modern version of push and run. He will get it right. He will take us there. And when we win a trophy, you will be celebrating with the rest of us. And then all this nonsense of Ange out by Christmas will be a long gone memory. But Ryan, it's up to you. I'm not here to change your mind. This is just my opinion.
Fair enough. I mean, Soren, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, fully agree with what Dermot's just said. Let's go back to the beginning when we signed Ange Postecoglou. This is not at Ryan. This is against a lot of people that are saying he's going to be out by Christmas.
Okay.
He was also going to be out by Christmas last season when we first signed him and nobody knew who he was. He wasn't going to last. And then when we had the first 10 games, it was, oh, well, yeah, we might win the league. And then it was when we started to lose, oh, he's going to be gone by the end of the season. There's no way this board's going to back him and keep him. And then when the season ended, he wasn't going to be the manager at the beginning of the season. And now the season started, he's going to be gone by Christmas. Well, if he's still here at Christmas, is he going to be gone by May then? And then is it next Christmas? And then is it the next May? And then is it the next Christmas? Look, like everybody's saying, get behind the team. We're supposed to be Tottenham fans. If it all fucks up, it fucks up. If it doesn't, we're all going to celebrate. All you that are negative, if you're stood in the crowd at Tottenham and we score, you're all shouting just as much as everybody else. All the happy clappers, all the negative people, all the doom and gloom, all the we're going to win the league people, we're all celebrating together. Let's just get behind the team. What's the point in sitting here and saying he's going to be gone by Christmas? Well, if that's what you want, well, then tell us. It's not, it's not a theory. It's I want him gone. I don't want him as my manager. There are YouTubers out there that are saying the exact same thing. They don't want him. They don't like him. I, for one, would rather have Ange Postecoglou team than that Conte team that we watched. That shit football game after game after game after game, where we were sat there depressed. And then when we had the shit games like we're having under Ange, it was the end of the world. Well, let's for once get behind the bloody manager and back him for the whole season and not sit here and say, we want him out, we want him out. Well, it's...
I'll give you an example.
Just to argue against Tony, if you go back and watch a lot of the YouTubes, there were plenty of people saying he wasn't going to last.
Yeah, there is a lot. I've seen an awful lot.
Yeah, you can shut your eyes and you can blinker as much as you want and pretend it didn't happen. It did.
Can I put a point? Sorry, Dave. I just want to make a very quick point. I'm sure, Sean, I apologise if I
No, okay.
I went to the AC Milan game with you under Conte. And you and me were both there with Philip, and we were both there. I left. Philip's been a fan since 1965. I've been a fan since the early 80s. I left that stadium that night disillusioned with my football club, with the point of giving up. I do not want support. If it wasn't for my channel, I would have not watched another Tottenham game that season. They felt the same. We were all disillusioned. We went back to that apartment, the three of you, me, and Jack. And I don't think we said one word to each other. We were that disillusioned. Yeah. No, we had more fun in the chicken place trying to get that
after
chicken.
After that, I went to bed.
Yeah, after that, we went to bed. Best chicken ever, by the way, by that chicken shop. But we all left disillusioned. I went to the Brighton game. I was fucking buzzing leaving that stadium. I tell you what, I felt the spirit of Bill Nick and Arthur Rowe in that stadium. I felt the spirit of Bill Nick had left that stadium. I felt his spirit in there. He's looking down at Tottenham Hotspur, him and Arthur Rowe, smiling because we have a manager that plays the Tottenham way. If you want to go back to the Conte way, grand. But I'm sticking by Ange, by hook or by crook. He will take us to the promised land. We're Tottenham Hotspur supporters. We're supposed to support the team. Let's get behind the damn team. Let's support them. Let's back them. Good, bad, or indifferent, because we love our club.
Can I just say as well with this one as a last thing, show me the proof that Ange did not want any of these players. If he's coming out and telling us that he did want them, show me the proof, if you're saying he's lying, where he didn't want them. You know, I mean, we've said this all along. He's come out and said he wanted Werner. He's come out and said he's wanted these players. These are the ones. Now, I'm not saying he went to the board and said, I want these players, but there will have been a list of players that seem to fit his system. And I'm assuming he said, yeah, I'm happy for any of those players to come in. So therefore, they become his players. If he didn't want them, then if he's the man he's supposed to be, he should have said, no, under no circumstances do I want these players. And if you sign them, they're not playing. So we have to assume that he's been honest and telling us that if they are the players he wanted and he's happy to it. If not, show me the proof where he said, I don't want them.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Rhino, what I would say, my man, is, look, I have seen a lot of Andrew be sacked by Christmas. I think that comes from many people look at the results from the back end of last season, look at some of the fixtures we've got coming up. And if it doesn't go too well, the pressure will be on Ange Postecoglou from the fan base. I think that's where some of that comes from. Also, they don't believe that some of these youngsters will come in and do Ange any justice. So maybe, I think that's where maybe, people are saying this. But what I would say, Rhino, is what's the alternative? We've had Jose Mourinho and Conte here. Some people say, get rid of Ange, he's not a winner, he doesn't know how to win. But the same people chase Jose and Conte out of the club who do know how to win. Where we work, when we signed Ange Postecoglou, we all knew it was going to be a rebuild. We all knew it wasn't just going to be a one season. We're at a point now as a fan base. And look, I don't blame the fan base. I blame the club, for making the fans sort of have this knee-jerk reaction towards managers, because they have sacked managers as soon as they don't get top four. But continuously to sack a manager when he walks in here after 1 year and doesn't win anything is not the right way forward for Tottenham Hotspur. You look at Liverpool, they built it under Jurgen Klopp. They gave him time. You look at Arteta under Arsenal, 8th, what was it, 5th, 8th and 5th, or 8th, 5th and 5th before they got into a title race. They gave Arteta time to build it. You know, what we want, and I get it, we're so hungry for trophies. But if we're going to have this policy, if we're going to fire a manager every time he comes in after one season, doesn't win a trophy, it's pointless because we don't have the owners to fund it. We don't have City owners. We don't have the Abramovich here at Chelsea to fund that sort of thing, where they have every manager walks in there and it's the best squad possible. Where we're at now is you have to give a manager time to build it. I think I'm more than happy to do that with Ange Postecoglou. I think he's a good manager. He brings the style of football that many fans were crying and moaning for when Conte and Jose and Nuno were here. We want to play the Tottenham way. We want to go back to the Tottenham DNA. Now it's here. Now all of a sudden it's suicidal football. It's this, it's that. I mean, it's absolutely madness. At some point, fans have to come together, put their fork in the road and say, look, this is the guy we're going to give a chance and we're going to back. But hiring and firing managers, all you're doing is setting this club backwards. We finished outside of Europe because of that policy. Outside of Europe. We're back in Europe now. We should give Ange Postecoglou the chance to build it. We shouldn't be so quick to knee-jerk and go, get out of my football club. You know, I think it's absolute madness, considering we don't have the owners. It's not fair to put that pressure on the manager when you don't have the owners to back that. And then that's where you have to become smart and say, right, obviously we have to give a guy a chance to build it. Pochettino nearly took us to the promised land in every single competition. But he was, again, given the chance to build it. So that's where I'm at with it, Rhino. Like I said, I'm not here to change your mind. Never going to do that. I'll give my opinion. It's up to people whether they want to listen and take it in or not. So, Rhino, that's up to you, my man. But, guys, let's keep this moving. But big up, Ryan. Really appreciate the chat there, my man. Absolute legend. But, guys, let's keep going. I mean, look, Dermo, it's an absolute massive... sorry, we'll go to you, sorry. We went to Dermo for the last one. Soren. It's in a recent video that I made, I did allude to the fact that this match with Newcastle and Arsenal could make or break Tottenham's season. Some fans in the comment were like, that's a bit of an exaggeration. What's your thoughts?
I disagree.
Yeah, that's fine. By all means, you know, disagree with me.
I disagree, but I agree.
You know?
I mean, I didn't see it, so I don't know in the context. But,
so I'll give you a quick context.
Well, I was going to say,
yeah.
What I will say is, if we lose them both, I don't think it's the end of our season. If we win them both, it gives us a jump on the season. So I get both. I get an argument to it, but go on.
So basically, my point is right, we wanted to be able to go and try and win some trophies. Postecoglou has alluded to that he wants to get in a title challenge. Now, I take your point, Paul's point earlier, but I'm going to stick with, he said that give him 3 windows. This is his 3rd window, and that's where he wants to be after it. And I think if that is where we are going to go with Postecoglou, that these games against Arsenal and Newcastle, we have to take 4 points bare minimum if we want to get in a title challenge. If you lose both of these games, it will have a negative effect on our season. For instance, we lost to Newcastle away last season 4-0. We had the North London derby straight after. We were 3-0 down inside 38 minutes. And I think if we lose these 2 games, we're more sitting here talking about what sort of European competition are we going to try and finish in top 4, Europa League, Europa Conference League, rather than an actual title challenge. Because if in order to catch Man City now, you can't lose too many games. And if you want to get into a title challenge, these are the games we have to start taking points from. So that's the context to it, Soren. So now, slate me.
I think if we're going to sit here and say we're going to be in a title race this season, I think we're talking bollocks. We went 10 games unbeaten last season, and then the wheels dropped off. So we're within that first 10 games. If we lose these 2 games, is the season over? No, it certainly isn't.
No, it's not
if we win these 2 games, are we in a title race? Well, we're in a title race until we're not in a title race. That's the point of it. If we lose these 2, can we still be in a title race? Of course we can. Look at Arsenal last year. They were nowhere near to start with, and then it just went on and on and on and on for them. City, they were however many points behind Arsenal at one point and still went on to win the league. So you're never out of it until you're out of it. My argument today is, I think today is the more must-win than Arsenal game, because the Arsenal game is, it doesn't matter on form. It doesn't matter who's the best team. going into that game. It's who's the best team on the day for that game. It's a total one-off. We don't want to lose, whether we're expected to win, whether we're expected to get thrashed. That is the one game or the two games every season. Form just goes out the window. Today, we're going to a Newcastle team that aren't firing yet. They're not on form. We want to win. We should win. There's no reason why we can't win. So for me, if we go today and we lose, it's not a great feeling. If we go today and we lose and we are absolutely shocking, then that's where questions need to be asked. If we go and we lose 2-1 or 1-0 and it's been an absolutely fantastic game and the team's played well, yeah, we don't want to lose, but it at least shows that the team's going in the right direction. It's these games where we go and we just capitulate. We can't do that anymore. We've got to learn from the mistakes of, if it's a 1-0 game, it's not the end of the world. If it's a 5-0 game, a 4-0 game, then, you know, it's shit. We shouldn't be losing 4-5-0 to Newcastle away at this part of the season when they're not on form. So out of the two games, for me, we've got to win one of them. We hopefully, now if I had to pick which game we're going to win, I want to win against Arsenal. I'd rather lose today and win Arsenal than win today and get thrashed by Arsenal. So, you know, that's the way I look at it. But to me, there's no reason why we can't go into both games expecting to get points from both games. If it's a draw from both games, that's fine. If it's a win and a draw, that's fine. I just don't want two losses. But if we do get two losses, it is not the end of our season. And let's not forget that there are still plenty of games to come.
Yeah. No, 100%. You're absolutely spot on there. There's a lot of games to come. I just feel like if you take two defeats here, it could, you know, put the players in a bit of a negative mindset. And that sort of rut is very, very hard to get out of. But like you said, I do believe we have the ability to be able to get points from these games. So hopefully we can do that. I think if we win these games, I think it sets us on. It gives us unbelievable confidence. I think it sets us, you know, on for to be able to sustain the 10-game run last season, but even longer this season. So that's why I think these next two fixtures are absolutely pivotal, because it can either bring everybody on board with this project, or it's going to bring more people off board on this project over these next two games. Let's wait and see what happens.
Dave, the thing with that is those that are not on the project are never going to be on the project. They'll, you know, if we go and win today and we win 4-0, they'll tell us it's because Newcastle are on form. If we go and lose today, oh, I told you so. The people that don't want us to do well are just, it doesn't matter what we do, they're always going to be negative, because if you're always negative, you can turn around more often and say, I was right. If you're positive and you lose, you know, you've got nowhere to go with it. So it's easier to be negative than it is to be positive.
No, fair. Dermo, we've suffered two heavy defeats up there the last 2 years. 6-1 under Conte, 4-0 under Ange Postecoglou. And the point I'm trying to make, we've gone up there with two systems, two different style of plays, two different approaches to the game, and we've been absolutely murked up there the last two seasons. How are you feeling heading into this game? You nervous? You excited? Pumped?
Look, I'm always pumped for a Spurs game. No, it's Tottenham play. I'm pumped. I'm ready for it. The 6-1, that was the game that got me more, because Stellini was in charge. Luis didn't come out for the second half because he fucking just gave up. Look, there's a lot of mental baggage that when we go up to Newcastle, we have to get rid of. And today's the day the players can put that negativity to bed. And Ange would reminding them of that. And he said it in his press conference yesterday or Friday. I think it was his press conference, that it was the first game where we lost our composure. We lost the way how we played, and we can't afford to do that up there. These are players that should be able to play in front on any crowd. But Newcastle is special. Newcastle is one team in one town. And the fans, when they start playing well, then fans will get behind them. I've been to St. James's Park. It is loud. And then fans are mad. They're probably one of the best fans, apart from us, in the Premier League. I've got a lot of respect for Newcastle fans because they really do support their team. But I think we can win today, and I think we can beat Arsenal. I think, look, if you don't go into a North London derby not wanting us to beat Arsenal, then there's something wrong. A North London derby is not just a Premier League game. It's life and death. As Bill Shankly once said, you know, them famous word, it's life and death. And it is, because it's the pride of North London. We're the proper North London side. They're only from South London. And we need to show them that we're the big boys, and we are the big boys. I think we get a win today. If somebody said to me, would you take 7 points off the first 3 games? I would have bitten their hand off for that. I really would have bitten their hand off. And it gives you a good courage, a good confidence to go into the North London derby. Arsenal have dropped points as well yesterday, by the way. So they're not in good form. They've got a player suspended. We're playing at our place for the first time in a long time. Let's go out there and show them who's boss. We've done it before, and we will do it again. I expect 6 points from these next 2 games. And that's not me being delusional. That's me being a Spurs fan because I want my team to win. And then we can say we're in the title race. And one more thing I will say about the title race is we don't know what's going to happen to Man City this year. We don't know the outcome of that Premier League inquiry. The Premier League is up for grabs. Because if Man City somehow get deducted, say, 90 points, if they get found guilty, then it's up for grabs. Yeah. Because every other team is near enough the same level. Man City are above everyone else. If they get deducted, then there is a chance. And why can't we not believe we can win the league?
Just say one thing there, Dermot, that I agree with everything you just said, and a few of the comments that are coming up in the chat, that, look, if we go and lose today, yes, people are going to be negative, and I get that. Look, my argument is when we go and we won against Newcastle, and all some people can do is still be negative about, well, we've won, but this was wrong, this was wrong. Well, for once, let's take a win and be positive about it, but then go on to the criticism. You know, yes, one player wasn't great. This player wasn't great. There were mistakes. But it shouldn't be the first thing that you suddenly come out with that, oh, it's negativity. Now, it's today. If we go and lose 1-0 and we've had a great game, we've played well, and the team, and it was just an unlucky, it might be a penalty or something like that. The first thing we shouldn't do is go straight into all the negativity and doom and gloom and things like this. This is my point, that if we go and we win or we lose, it's not just negative. It's not just positive. It can be both. You can come out and say, well, we played well, and so-and-so was great, so-and-so was great, so-and-so, and wasn't this good? But if we go out and lose, it was, yeah, we lost, you know, we were, this player was rubbish, this player was rubbish, this player didn't play well. But, you know, it can be a little bit of both. And this is what gets me, that every game, doesn't matter whether we've won, lost or draw, there are people out there that will only find the negatives within the conversation. That's where it gets my back up. And anybody that says we, you know, when we're going to Newcastle and we say we should win it, that is a fan. A fan of a team should be expecting his team or her team to go and win. It shouldn't be, oh yeah, we're going there and losing. You know, let's just give up now before we've even gone there. Well, what's the point then? We all want our team to. If you ask me at the beginning of the season, what do you want for this season? Unbeaten, win every single match, 4-0, 5-0. Best team in the world. That's what I want at the beginning of every season. Don't get me wrong, I soon come down to earth with it, because we're not going to do it. You know, first game we lose, it's like, shit, I was wrong again. But the point is, what's the point of being a supporter of a team and not believing in your team? I don't get it.
43 years, 44 years I follow Spurs. I've seen the good, the bad, and the damn ugly. But the quad is on. And to get to your point, it's human nature.
What is on? Exactly.
Yeah, it's human nature. When Tottenham lose, it's human nature. Your frustrations come out of the game. And that's being a fan as well. As long as you do it positively. If you're negative, you have to do, and I have to give Dave credit here, and use Wilson and people like Dave. they're very harsh on the team, but they do it positively. There's no negative. There's no going after players or going after this. Their points are positive. Their points are, look, we lost because of this player didn't do his job. And that's right. We should be able to do that. But where the point is line is, we all are Tottenham Hotspur fans. We should get behind the team. And that's what being a fan is about. If you're not a fan and you're just here for the ride, then there's no point supporting. You have to be here for the good times, the bad times, and the indifferent times. And believe me, this is why me and Soren are grey. This is why Dave's probably going to be going bald, because we all support Tottenham Hotspur.
You mean I'm grey? Wow.
If
it's just the sun shining in.
Well, look, after supporting Spurs for nearly 44 years, this is how it's put me. But look, we all love our club at the end of the day, and Soren's spot on. We're all our Spurs fans, but it's human nature. To be honest, human nature is when you lose to be angry, but you got to do it positively. And Dave does that in spades. He does that positively in spades.
No, look, I appreciate. At the end of the day, I don't know what I do. I just give my opinions on how I see the game and stuff like that. But look, heading into today's game, I think we should all be really excited. You know, these are the games we get out of bed for. These are the games we live for. You know, these big games. Yes, it's going to be tough, but you know, we've got a decent squad. I don't see why we can't turn up there and give Newcastle a game. You know, Newcastle haven't got off to the greatest start of this season. They're finding it hard to score goals. Now, I know some people will counter that and say, "Cue Dr. Tottenham." Could be the case. It's been like that up there the last 2 years. But for me, I think if we can survive the first 15 minutes, we have a huge chance of causing an upset here today. And the reason why I say that is, in the 6-1, we were, 5-0 down after 21 minutes? Last season, Newcastle went out nice and early yet again, scored a goal. I think we're 2-0 down after 30 minutes. They went on to win 4-0. But going up there the last couple of seasons, Eddie Howe has used the same game plan. Go and press Tottenham. They will give you the ball and get your dominance nice and early and put the game to bed nice and early. Last season, although we lost 4-0, they finished the game with 29% possession. How does that work? You know, it's absolute madness. So the first 15 minutes for me are absolutely crucial to today's game. And this is where I'm going to get on to my next point. The lineup will be out, and we'll get the boys' thoughts as well before we let them go and it cleanse themselves of all the negativity heading into this game. But Kulusevski, for me, has to go up into the forward line for this sole reason. I don't care whether it's up front, left wing, or right wing. But he has to go into that forward line today, because last year when we tried to play through Newcastle, we couldn't because of the intense pressure they put on us and they were turning the ball over. For the large periods of that first half especially, Vicario then resorted to going longer into Brennan Johnson, into Son, into Werner. And I don't blame them, because it's not any of their games, which is to get in front of their man, hold up the ball, relieve pressure, bring others into play, and start pushing the game the other way. We couldn't do that with them up front last year. If we go with Son, Udenberg, Johnson, I feel like the same problem is going to happen. So for me, I think Kulusevski has to go into that forward line for that out ball. And I think it'd be wise of Postecoglou to get ahead of what Eddie Howe done to him last year and have that, make that little tactical tweak. Because what it does then is, you get the ball into Kulusevski, he holds it up, he relieves pressure on that back line. He stops it for a little while, and also helps us get the ball into our feet, get players involved, and hopefully hit Newcastle on the counter, hit them in behind that high line that they operate with for the first 15, 20 minutes. I think it's absolutely important Kulusevski goes in that front line. If he doesn't, I fear for Tottenham today. And that's not me being negative. That's just me off what I've seen last year. And if we don't make that adjustment, I'm not quite sure how we're going to get out. Because if I'm Eddie Howe, why would I change my game plan when it's worked the last 2 years like an absolute treat? And then lastly, this is where the leadership group comes in today. Son, Maddison, Romero. Last week, brilliant to put the Leicester game behind them, go out and get the performance that we did last week. This game in the North London Derby will be the true test of this leadership group. Today, everybody around that squad is looking at the likes of Son, Maddison, and Bergvall on the trip up, how to deal with the mentality heading into this game, considering we've been bet. on the pitch, looking for the solutions. These guys have to step up today. There's going to be a tough period in this game, and it's up to them to lead us through it. I don't want to see them collapse or capitulate like they did against Leicester. I'm hoping they've took that criticism on the chin, realised that we're only saying it for their benefit, and they work on it going forward into today's game. I think them two things, Kulusevski up front in the forward line and the leadership group, three things, and inside the first 15 minutes, not conceding, is going to be crucial to Tottenham getting a result here today. So that's my thoughts on it, guys. But the lineup, I think, will be out. It's out now in just one moment. So while we're waiting for the lineup, I mean, Soren, Kulusevski up front. Do you get my point with that, or do you think
I
he
do
will
get your point with that? I mean, I'm happy if Son starts up front. It's the right wing I'm more concerned about. I think today is the day, and I don't think he will, but to me, today is the day where we've got to look at somebody else on that right wing. Do I think he'll do it? No, I think Johnson will start, but today's the day. And just to sort of go back a little bit, and I don't want to dwell on it, but
no, walk away.
Tequila sort of said he could be gone by Christmas, as in Ange. Yeah, he could be. He could drop dead tomorrow. He could walk for personal reasons. We could lose the next 10 games, and he goes. He could still be here at Christmas. He could still be here next season, and we could win the league next season. There's a lot of what ifs. Doesn't matter anymore. Today's game, we're smashing it out of the park.
Well, I hope so, guys, because we could really do a really good, and it'll be a really good morale boosting victory, this one. But the lineups are out, and so we'll run through it here. We'll get the boys' thoughts. So Vicario is in goals. Pedro Porro at right back. Romero at centre back, along with Dragusin. So the news about Van de Ven being out was correct, with Destiny Doji at left back. Papa Matasar, Basuma, and Madison form the midfield tree. I swear, Ange Postecoglou, he needs to hire me. He just needs to bring me into the setup because he gets it. He gets what I'm saying. Kulusevski out at right wing, Udebert out at left wing, and Son through the middle. So he has gone with Kulusevski, so I'd expect to see that ball go beyond the Newcastle press today. Be interesting to see if he can get turned, play Sonny in behind, and kill Newcastle the other way. On the bench, we have Fraser Forrester, Jedi Spence, Ben Davies, Alfie Devine travelled with the squad today. Delighted for the kid, being kept around, huge opportunity for him. Archie Gray, Rodrigo Bentancur, Bergval, Johnson, and Timo Werner. So that is the lineup. Of course, people are going to go, where's our strikers? Lancashire out injured, picked up an injury against Bristol Rovers. Solanke out injured, picked up an injury against Leicester. And Richarlison's been out injured for the last 2 seasons. So no strikers today off the bench. So maybe if he does make a rotation, you might see Werner come on up there at some point. Dermo, what's your thoughts on the lineup, my man?
Do you know what? Apart from Rudu, that was the same team I picked for my predicted lineup. And I'm
same here, actually. Bar Oh, no, I put Bentancur instead of Sarr, so I was nearly there.
I was there. Apart from Van Rudu, that was the lineup I went with. I'm absolutely delighted with that. I've been saying, I said it on your show, I said it on my show last night, even in my video for you, that Johnson needed to be taken out for his own well-being and for his own confidence. That the lads needs to build up his confidence again. He needs to be put on the bench. But I think that's great. Maybe Kulu down the middle. Somebody put it in the chat, and I agree with it. Kulu down the middle and put Sonny in the wing. I think that's what we may go with, because Kulu is our sort of emergency striker. Sonny's better on the wing. That is a team that can beat Newcastle. That team there, Odegaard for me. I cannot wait to see. I got so excited.
What did you make of his debut last week, Darbo?
I know. I thought he's brilliant. I thought he was a winger. He reminded me a bit of Aaron Lennon back in the day. And he also reminded me a bit of Tony Galvin back in the day, where Tony Galvin used to run down that wing and it was a take on his man. That's what we want Johnson to do. Take on his man and get the cross in or set something up. And that's what he does. He brings pace to the team. I think that's a great lineup. That is a winning lineup. That team will beat Newcastle. And we're wearing their Argentinian away kit. So Romero's going to feel even more, pumped for the day. We're wearing his country's colours. He's going to be pumped and he's going to be there. Listen, guys, Romero, Tottenham are going to win. I'm pumped now. I'm fully pumped now. Come on, you Spurs. Let's do it.
Oh, I love it. Love it. Just two things before we go down into Soren. Papa Matasar coming in, I can understand that one.
Yeah.
More get someone in there that's willing to get in amongst the likes of Ramirez, I presume Tonali and Joe Linton today. I'll go and check Newcastle lineup in a minute or two, but it's important that we can get in and around them very quickly, stop Ramirez from spraying them passes, stop Tonali, and I think that's what Papa Matasar has been brought into that midfield to do today. Second of all, Udebert, delighted he's regained his place today and that Johnson has finally been dropped. Let's see whoever takes up that right-hand side. Can they offer us more than what Brennan Johnson has? But Udebert, brilliant debut last week. But to be fair, he faded out come the second half, which is expected. But today is a complete different test for this guy. Playing in front of your home crowd gives you confidence. It boosts you. It can almost be easy to a degree. Going away from home, where the crowd isn't on, all for you and stuff like that. They're trying to put you off your game. Complete different environment. So let's see how the young 19-year-old can handle this today. Plus, it's going to be a lot more physical than what he came up against Everton. Again, a different test. So let's see what the kid can do today. But I'm really excited because one thing I think he has, which I've been screaming out for our wingers in years gone by, just that tight ball control. Not one of these touches that go 15 yards ahead of you. Drops dead at his feet, allows him to manipulate the ball and go whichever way he wants. Absolutely love it from the kid. But Soren, your thoughts on the lineup, but the big question is, Kulusevski up front or Son?
Son up front, Kulu on the right, Odegaard on the left. That's where I expect him to go.
I agree.
Look, I mean, there's been a lot of debate recently whether Kulu can play on the wing or whether he's ineffective or effective. I think he's effective. I think he can play on the wing. Doesn't mean to say it's his best position, but to me, Kulu playing on the right makes that right-hand side stronger in the defence as well. It's not just about going forward.
Because Porro got absolutely murked up there last year. Didn't he come off early, didn't he, in the second half? So I think you're right on there.
Kulu playing in front of Porro helps Porro massively. Yeah. I think, look, Johnson hasn't been great. He hasn't been great going forward. He's certainly not good in defence. He doesn't help Porro one bit. So I think that's a stronger team than what we put out against Everton. And let's not play about. Tottenham can win any team on the day. If we put a performance in, we can beat anybody. Doesn't mean to say that the other team is playing as good, but we can beat anybody. Can we go to Newcastle with that team today and win? Of course we can. I don't expect anything less. At the end of the game, if we've lost, we've lost. But I expect us to go there today with that team and win.
No, I'm the exact.
Odegaard, look, he's got a year in the Premiership behind him already. It's not his first season in the Premiership. It's not like he doesn't know what to expect.
True.
He's played at Newcastle. He's played at Liverpool. He's played at City. This lad knows what he's doing. So there is no reason why he shouldn't have a great game. There's no reason Kulu shouldn't start on the right and have a great game. If Kulu starts down the middle, he'll have a great game. It doesn't matter where these players start. They need to have a great game.
No, 100%. I couldn't agree more. And a good point on Udebert. He does have this experience. He would have been at St. James's Park away last year, so he sort of knows what to expect. Fair point there. When it comes to the front line, I know, Dermo was maybe asking the question, is Kulu up front? Personally, I think we'd be more balanced if we played Kulu up front, Son off the left, Udebert off the right. However, I agree with Soren. I think it says what we see there. Kulu off the right, Udebert off the left, Son through the middle. And the reason why I say that is Postecoglou tends to turn to Son up front when the strikers are out injured, regardless of Kulusevski's availability. He's only really turned to Kulusevski when Son hasn't really been an option or really been available up front. Pre-season, people can say, but Kulu played up front pre-season. I get it. But I just think, when it comes to these games, I think his Son scored 2 through the middle last week. I think he starts up front again today. And also, when Vicario's playing them balls, it's a lot easier to try and put that ball out to Kulusevski because of the angle it allows you to, get the flight of it right than what it is just pumping it straight down the middle to him. So it's a lot easier for Kulusevski to be able to take it down on the right-hand side rather than it is through the middle with two centre-backs up his hole, rather than the one full-back up his hole. So I do think, Soren is probably correct with it being that front three. But if Kulusevski does go up front, him and Son had a really good link-up partnership, over the course of pre-season with some coming off the left and stuff like that. So either way, I think it should work. And I think the reason why it might work with Son up front as well is because I do believe we've got, better wingers now providing them with chances. I think Kulusevski's back on form where he wasn't last season. Really like Udebert. I think he will provide some with chances, and that's the big difference. Last season, Son was our best creator and our best finisher, and we almost needed him to do both. That's why it really didn't work out for large periods when he was up front. But today, I think, could be a different story. Hope young Alfie Devine gets an opportunity to impress today off the bench as well. Be really interested to see how he gets on. I'm sure he's probably delighted that he's being kept around and he will get opportunities over the course of this season. It's just about him being ready and, willing to take it when they come his way. But guys, I won't keep you much longer. I know Dermo has to get off and go and do his own show before he's watching along. I'm sorry. I know you probably want to go and have another cup of coffee or a bit of lunch or something like that before you start watching the game. I just want to say a massive thank you to you guys for your time this afternoon. I really do appreciate it. Paul as well for the little time that he gave us. His internet is gone, by the way. He's having trouble with it, so that's why he couldn't get back on. So massive thank you to you guys. But Soren, lad, Newcastle away, trepidation in the air. What's your score prediction for today's game?
I'm gonna go with my first thought is 3-1, but I think that's probably been a bit too positive. So I'm gonna say 2-1. The Spurs are gonna do it, and I always think we've a chance of conceding because of the way we do play. But I always go into it thinking, well, we can keep a clean sheet. We can score. We will keep a clean sheet. So sod it. 2-0. 2-0. Sod it. 2-0. 2-0. You've seen it here. 2-0.
Love it. Love it. So Soren's going with us to back up the clean sheet from last week. Keep another here. But if we do, it's the springboard we need to get a victory. So hopefully we can keep that clean sheet. Dermo, what's your score prediction, my man?
I'm going for 3-0. I'm going to stick to my predicted, what I said, and all the way along, I'm going for 3-0, and the Spurs will take 3 points back to North London, and on we go. We'll go into the international break with 7 points. Can't wait.
Do you know what? I really hope so. And feed the excitement that I need heading into this international break, especially since Ireland are playing England. There's no point of even being deluded about that. I know exactly what's going to happen. So I do need this victory so I can deal with Ireland losing to England over the course of the international break. But guys, for me, I really like the look of the lineup. I'm glad Ange has put Kulu in the front line. And I think this is what's going to be the difference to last season. Having that out ball. For me, I'm going to go 3-1 Tottenham. I think a clean sheet is going to be very hard to come by. Set pieces, Newcastle are brilliant. And plus, I absolutely loves a goal against Tottenham. Loves a goal against us. Isaac scores goals against us. It's about keeping him quiet tonight. So I think Newcastle might score one with them being at home. But I think we'll be a lot better going forward. I think from what I've seen for the majority of that Leicester game, yeah, we capitulated after they scored. But up till then, we created chances. That continued against Leicester. We created a lot of chances. The only difference is we took them. I think we're a team that maybe are looking a bit more confident going forward. That's why I'm going to say 3-1 Tottenham today. Hopefully it happens. At the end of the day, I want to be eating Magpie wings later on. I want the 3 points so bad today. I think it really sets us up nicely heading into the North London Derby. I think if we win today, we will not lose that North London Derby. We will take something from it for sure.
Dave, we will not lose that North London Derby. Let's just stop there. Full stop. We don't need to win today. We're not going to lose the North London Derby.
No, look, I don't think we win at home, but I think if we win today, I think we beat Arsenal. I think it gives us that victory we need, considering the mood they're heading into it off the back of Brighton. I think it helps us out massively and gives us that confidence that we need heading into that game. Guys, please get over, check out Dermatron's channel, THFC Till I Die. Get over there, smash the subscribe button. Does great Spurs content. Him, Tequila, Philip Brady, and others. I don't even know who else. There's loads of people over there nowadays. Get over there, check out the channel. make sure you smash the subscribe button. Soren, what's your whiskey channel?
Just before we go, I think there's a super chat you've not read out from Faz.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I'll get to that.
Yeah. There ain't really a channel. I go on the Spurs diehards. I come on with you, so that's enough for anybody to listen to. There's enough crap out there without listening to me too often.
And you know what? We absolutely love having you here because, you know, you keep me sane. You come up with good, fresh opinions, you know, nice balanced opinions. And it doesn't swing me either way. You know, it keeps me nice and sane. And we absolutely love having you here, Soren, and giving up your time on that. So thank you very much, man.
I will just say as well, look, we are going to win. Full stop. If we don't, I'll be having a few hours off from YouTube. So don't worry about it.
Oh, honestly, I can't wait for the international break to have a few hours off myself. It's been a bloody mad week. We got a super chat here from Rayman. Sorry, guys, I didn't see these ones come in. I was too busy, you know, chatting to the boys here. He says, easier to tear down than build up. Let's do the hard thing, stick together and be positive if times are hard. And look, absolutely spot on. It is easier to tear things down than build it up. Look, I just hope that the team can really go on a good run this year. And I think it will bring a lot of people together. I think it will bring a lot of people on the journey. And I hope so. Look, I can understand where some of the pessimism comes from with how Tottenham have been in the last few years. You know, we've been in and out of projects and stuff like that. However, I do think we are trying to come out of that mess and go forward. And I do want to see people get behind it. And behind Postecoglou especially, because it is what most fans ask for at the end of the day. Great words there from Rayman, and hopefully the squad see this heading into this game today, that, you know, bring them together. Big up, Rayman. Really appreciate the support, my man, and let's bloody go. Faz Radfar 3-1 Spurs says, if no silly errors and not conceding early, we will win. That's it for me. First 15 minutes are absolutely crucial. I want to see Romero give Isaac a rock bottom, take him out of the game altogether. He absolutely obliterates us in the first 15, 20 minutes. Stop him from scoring. Don't concede first 15, 20. 3 points are on us today, Faz Radfar. I can feel it, my man. Then we've got this from Paul. Really appreciate that. And he says, I remember for 13 months, the lineup shows that Ange is watching and dropping players when they need dropping. Glad to see BJ had been dropped and that the front three was I predicted being, as I had no strikers. Come on, you Spurs. Do you know what? I actually had a different question today because I did think Brennan Johnson would start again today because I think Ange loves him, and it wasn't about tearing him down. It was about trying to find out why Postecoglou keeps picking him. What does he see in him? However, he's dropped today. I think he's made the right call. I really do. I think Brennan Johnson, when the game's tired, and I said this before, when everyone's tired, when there's a lot more space later on in games, and that's where he got a lot of credit initially, was being that impact sub off the bench. And I think it's the right move. He looks like, to me right now, a player that's void of confidence, and continue to start him, I think is only going to do the kid damage in the longer run. I think taking him out is the right thing. Also, it's easy for Postecoglou. All he's got to do with Brennan Johnson says, look, it's a tactical change. I hope you understand. Last season, Vicario went to go to you for the long ball. You stood in behind Dan Burn for 90 minutes. You didn't want to know. That's why I took you out and I brought Kulusevski into there. So it's a simple explanation from Postecoglou without actually alienating the player as well, which I think is very, very important, Paul. But look, let's go. It's a good, strong lineup. No Van de Ven, bit of a blow, but it's the chance for Radu Dragosin now. Papa Matasar coming in today as well. I think it's a shrewd move, trying to get in at the likes of Gameres, Tonali, Joe Linton, players like that. So, Paul, big yourself up, my man. He's been dropped. Kulusevski's in. Let's see if we look any better, lad. But guys, that's it from us. I'll be back here at 1 o'clock for the watch along with myself and Jacko. Absolutely cannot wait. For the next half an hour, I'm going to put on some Spurs songs, relax, and get ready for the watch along. Guys, massive thank you to Dermot, Soren, and Paul for giving up their time today. Really, really appreciate, especially on a Sunday morning. Family want to do things and stuff like that, and people are giving up their time to come on here. So I really appreciate it. All you guys, again, same, tuning in here. 800, we've reached today with people tuning in. Absolutely incredible numbers. Really appreciate it as well. I know a lot of you have families and other things to be doing. Some people are getting up, 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, stuff like that. It's absolutely incredible, and really appreciate the support and the commitment to it as well. Big yourselves up, and thank you so, so much. And then lastly, to all the people, sorry, unprofessional, Lastly, to all the people who have gone the extra mile today, Dark Sun G, great to see him as always. Mr. Kelly, haven't seen him in a while. Great to see him. We have Tony Rodriguez. Really appreciate that, my man. Faz Radfire as well, legend. Stevie D, legend. DDMKTHFC85, great name. Timman 007, really appreciate it, buddy. Ribsy as well. Ryan Trestain, Rainman, Faz Radfire, and Paul. Guys, really appreciate everybody who has gone the extra mile. Lastly, don't forget, check out the link for the NordVPN. It's in the pin chat, in the comment, and in the description. If you want to save yourself money and shop around for the best deal to be able to get Spurs games, it's what I do. I'm just here to try and help you. Make sure you get on the link. Guys, see you back here in half an hour's time. Come on, you bloody Spurs. In the big Ange trust, we never stop. Let's bloody go.
Come on, you lily whites.